Come on, everybody, let's go ahead and see who's going to be the GM for the second game. Will it be a RoboCop game? I can guarantee you that that is not happening, okay? So please welcome on in the GM for game number 2, Donkey Clonk. You're already in voice.
Yeah?
You jumped the gun. I hadn't introduced you yet. It's okay. It's okay. You're just like Billy the Kid.
I don't quite what you... Oh, jumping the gun, I see.
Yeah, he was a gunslinger, you know, pew pew, Billy the Kid. It's good stuff, yeah. Anyways, we've got this game that I haven't revealed coming up next, but you've got a little bit of a niche here. I always like to see what you're bringing to the table here. And honestly, this isn't too unexpected. I don't know this game.
No, this is completely unrelated to another game that I've given out before, but there might be some things players recognize.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, chat, what sort of things would you expect when Donkey Clonk shows up to give out? What would you expect in video game? What would you expect in video game? That's actually a sentence that I just said, yes. Horror? Commodore 64, that's actually correct. Okay, Commodore 64, that's correct. Hammers? I don't know if there are any hammers in this. Weird controls? Is that about right?
Oh yeah, you got weird controls.
I sometimes expect auto-scrolling, and somehow somebody says trampolines, and I'd say that's about as close as we can get to what I expect when you're giving out a game.
Oh, platforming puzzles with insta-deaths. Yes, we have the Commodore 64 Kangaroo game, the baby of Kangaroo.
Yeah, that's right, the baby of Kangaroo. 2 words, everybody. This is what we've got. Kangaroo boxing. If you ever wanted kangaroo boxing, I guess this might be what we have. I have no idea what this game is about, except that there are 2 kangaroos duking it out there, and I couldn't read the title, so I had to ask you what it was. Oh, baby. Yeah, so you said that this is going to have platforming with insta-death. I always get excited about that. I love kangaroos. They're kind of cute. There's one kangaroo game that I have in my back pocket, but will probably never give out because NPC figured out how to actually glitch the game so that you can beat every level super easy peasy, and that's not fun. But I don't know. There's something about the US that we really didn't have very many kangaroo-based video games.
Yeah, it's an uncommon title. It's an uncommon theme. It's just that I've been digging out the few that, well...
Yeah, I can dig the theme. I dig it. The baby of Guru or Kane. I don't know, the way that they spell it, I don't know how I feel. This music is pretty good, though. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's by Chris Hyldsbeck, famous in Kuso6rande for Jim Power.
Oh, I love Jim Power. So everybody, we have an hour to see how far these players make it through the game. I do want to thank those who are supporting the stream with bits and subs and follows. Honestly, because of you, we're able to keep the stream going and provide prizes to people who are in... who are in the bracket. Right now we are determining who can make it into the bracket with these rounds, so it's getting steamed up just like my ham. Yeah.
This is a match where the players have either 24 or 25 points, so one player will be eliminated and third place will either go into tiebreakers or the bracket.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. We are going to be starting the countdown. What emote should chat spam? What would be relevant?
Anything Australian.
Australian emotes. Spam those. Spam cute animals, okay? Cute animals are good. Bubsy does not count as cute. Barely even counts as an animal. As soon as I see movement, I will start our timer, and here we go. Oh, look at him go. Oh. Well, that didn't take very long.
No, this is one of the most frustrating platformers that I know of.
Well. Turns out that the bowling ball, you don't want to be a kangaroo meeting a bowling ball. It will kill you. Oh, how many lives do you have?
3 lives.
Oh, no. This is not good.
No, this is what happens if you veto one of my games.
Did somebody veto? Oh my gosh. The toe tried to back up after the first screen. Yeah, that's not happening. This is strangely giving me some Cabbage Patch Kids vibes, although I think that game is a lot better. I love Cabbage Patch Kids for the MSX is what it was on.
Yeah, it's strange that this game has shuffling in what should be a flip screen platformer.
Okay, so tell me the controls. What do they do in order to play this? How do you control?
Well, it's usual joystick controls. Up to jump, of course.
Okay, it is Commodore 64, so up to jump.
And all jumps are committed. That includes the hops you do when moving left or right. So it seems that the game is swallowing inputs, which it does if you make an input while you are jumping or hopping.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't move without hopping. So it's... yeah, this kangaroo feeds on inputs.
There we go. Entering her name, Peachy Chan. You got a high score.
There is also an attack which extends like 3 pixels from you.
Yeah, you have to use that attack in this?
Yes, you do. I saw...
I mean, the second screen has a bird.
Yeah, and the 4th screen, which Clades is on, has the gorilla. The gorilla must be attacked. And the gorilla will also throw rocks at you, and those rocks can go either low or high, which is completely random. Wow, that's not what you're supposed to do to jump over the gorilla.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This game is so rough, and I love it. This is... oh. The thing is, you know, for a lot of older games, they had a very limited space. And, you know, you usually didn't expect a game with as much depth as, say, like, Final Fantasy 1. You know, it was usually games that were extremely brutal, but if you played them well, you could beat them relatively quickly. And this appears to be one of those extremely brutal games for the Commodore 64. Yeah, you thought NES difficulty was hard. This is Commodore 64 difficulty.
Yeah,
it was that difficult to give it more playtime, you know? But also, I feel like games like this, you know, it was a lot easier to just switch out. You weren't expected to be playing them for an hour at a time, in my opinion. At least from my experience.
Yeah, it's not just that the obstacles are hard to get through, which they are, but it's just cheap and unresponsive.
Okay, yeah, it kind of is. So right now, I know people are asking about points for this match. 2 of the players have 25 points. 2 of them have 24. The 24-point players are the Toe and Peachy-chan. So first and second players will be moving on to the bracket. Third, if it is one of our 24 place players, the Toe or Peachy-chan, the third place will go to a tiebreaker. Otherwise, Clades or Polk taking third will make it into the bracket for sure. Fourth place is out. They are gone. And that is how important this match is. There will be some bracket competitors guaranteed in this, and there will be at least one person guaranteed to be going home.
Toe passed the Hutton to the second gorilla, which I think is a lead.
Very nice. Actually, yeah, depending on the game, some of the cassettes took a long time to load, but remember, the Commodore 64 had several different loading systems. I believe there was a cartridge system, there were floppies. I believe there was both the floppy and the hard floppies.
No games were commercially released on the 3.5 disc hard floppies. That drive was extremely rare. As were games on cartridges.
Okay, so in general, tapes were probably the most common that you could find.
Yeah, especially because games tended to be quite a bit more expensive on floppies as well, because it's so much easier to mass-produce tapes.
I mean, I suppose, but there were so many floppies. Like, at least over here in the US, floppies here, floppies there, floppies everywhere. This game definitely wasn't made in the US, though. Like, I can tell just from the audio, this is not a US release. Not a huge surprise due to this both being a Kangaroo game as well as having the trills from the Commodore 64. Lots of Commodore 64 games that never made it over here to the US. Wait, Dana, you're saying floppies were more prevalent in the piracy areas, you believe? I guess I grew up with 1 million floppies, you know, on the Atari 800 XL. That was about 98% of the games that we had for that. And it was acceptable at that time.
Clades onto the second gorilla as well. Oh, very nice.
Wow,
this is a lead
that was great. Very nice dodges from Clades there. Ooh, there is a fountain on the right that looks a lot like the fountain on Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde NES. A little odd. By the way, yeah, if people haven't seen, the Angry Video Game Nerd released a video yesterday about Commodore 64 games, and is going to be doing more throughout the month of October. I'm super excited about that. He's going to be looking at some horror games during October, so it just makes me happy that finally he got to a huge Commodore 64 episode. Like, it's half an hour long. It's fun.
Clades onto the double gorilla screen, and that one is really nasty because of the projectiles.
Mm-hmm.
Every screen is really nasty.
Yeah, Polk, I'm so glad that you can duck in this game. Like, there are a lot of games back in the day where you just didn't really have very many options. It's like you have one way to get through these obstacles. You don't do it, then you're dead. But this, you know, you can jump over the monkey, you can punch the monkey like Peachy-chan did. Peachy-chan is actually basically tied with Clades at this point. Oh my gosh, there's so many, like, lead changes and place changes going on right now. I love it.
Yeah, this is a game where you die quickly and can make progress quickly.
Polk died from the screen transition. I love it.
Yeah, if you jump too close to the edge of the screen, you will keep jumping on the next screen, because jumps are committed in that way. So this was published by Rainbow Arch, which has also made games which were on this Kuso6rande before, such as Street Gang, and they also published Australis' The Barbarian game.
Ooh. Barbarians. Okay, Polk is entering in a name probably gonna be what? Why? Okay, that's a decent name. I love that the players take the time to do this. It's kind of funny. It does give like a little bit of a benefit to the other players because, you know, you are not playing the game at that time. But at the same time, just being able to take time to calm down from your last playthrough can be worth it. I think that there's a lot of psychology going on with a Kuso6rande match, you know.
Yeah, this is an absolutely infuriating game to play.
Yeah. Yeah, Prism Ranger, you're talking about how the nerd showcased how good Commodore 64 music could be. I think that is one of, like, the coolest things about this home computer. Clades appears to have run into a little bit of an error there. We'll probably be resetting in order to get back into this.
Yeah, this is not a well-programmed game. You've seen on games such as Airwolf that the Commodore 64 is perfectly capable of doing really smooth scrolling.
Yeah, I'd say that the game is short enough that resets are completely going to be expected. You may see, just knowing Commodore 64, there may be some interesting flashing, but apparently this game is pretty good at not destroying eyeballs.
No, it just farts at you when it loads instead.
I like farts. Oh my gosh. The toe jumped during the screen transition, and I thought that might be a death. What are these things in the various areas, like the black boulders moving back and forth? Are those snails?
My guess is as good as yours.
What's your guess? Because we've got stumps that are volcanic stumps. We've got deadly spiders. We've got the toe moving, I think, into the lead, making it past the headstone.
Toe also onto the double gorilla screen.
Oh, okay. Has somebody else seen that?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
What a video game. This, by the way, was released in 1974, or 74? What am I even saying? 1987 for the Commodore 64, programmed by Marcus Play. The sound was done by Chris Holzbeck. That's why this music absolutely rocks. Chris did a lot of fantastic music, like Bubsy, the Woolly Strikes Back. Yeah. I'm not even kidding you. Musician for Resident Evil 2, did music for Super Turrican, Super Turrican 2, Jim Power, Mega Turrican, another Jim Power, because those are all fantastic games. The Great Gianna Sisters did music for that. Like, there's so many legendary games in his history that he contributed to, and honestly, I don't think music, at least from the 80s and 90s, would be quite the same without Chris Holzbeck. The game, on the other hand, was programmed by Marcus Play, who programmed the Baby of Kanguru, and that's it. Well, I mean, one of the people working on this was a legend, and one of them was Marcus Play, so what can you say? This company, though, actually made some, like, quite a few different games. There was Rainbow Art Software. It was in Germany. They worked on other games like, oh my gosh, what else did they do? Curse of Ra. They did some Turkin games, which makes sense that they would work on the musician, or work with the musician who did the Turkian games for this game. Mad TV video game, some ports of Earthworm Jim, it looks like they contributed to as well.
Clade's onto the double gorilla screen.
Rawr. Like, yeah, this is a fairly epic company back in the Commodore 64 days, and it's cool. This definitely is not the best game for the C64, but it's far from the worst.
Ooh, a lead from Clades, getting past the double gorillas.
Very nice.
One of the games that the Angry Video Game Nerd used to showcase how good the music on the Commodore 64 was Netherworld, which is by the developers that made another game that I gave out, Uno Turha på de Muta Male, the Finnish game.
Oh yeah! Yeah. Seriously, there's so much good music on the Commodore 64. I really would... Like, 8-bit music has come back and been really popular. If people started making modern games with old-school C64 style, SID chip style music, I feel like it would be immensely popular. So there you go, game devs. If you're trying to think of a style of music for your game, there you go. Try SID chip. There are lots of plugins for various music programs. I've got a plugin for Fruity Loops for FL Studio that you can use that does Commodore 64 sounds. They're available. Just gotta go and search and experiment with them. Oh yeah, Dana is completely right that there are modern Commodore 64 games out there as well, and a lot of them are good. A lot of them are great.
Yeah, the SID chip was unique because it not only had a tone generator, but it has an analog filter connected as well. So you can do low and high pass filter effects on channels.
Yes. I love... Oh my gosh, it's really easy to make the SID chip sound bad, but it's also really easy to make it sound fairly okay. And making it sound amazing isn't quite as difficult as it was with, like, the NES sound system. NES, it's hard to make it sound like trash unless you are Waxing or Syntax. They did a really good job with making it sound like crap. But, you know, just the default settings for the NES sound chip are pretty good. SID chip, there's a lot more fiddling that you have to do in order to make it sound decent. But if you do that, then it can sound amazing. Just gotta take the time.
Poke is getting quite far as well. Poke is using jumping strats, which are faster but quite dangerous.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Linkura dropping the Hot Demon Rush lore here. If you have $1,500 budget for professional grade music composition software and you're doing indie music, you're probably spending too much money unless you're hiring somebody to do it for you. In which case, you're spending the right amount of money. There are a lot of free or cheap resources that you can use out there. Maikuyama, how dare I disrespect the D? Okay, look, The Demon Rush remaster has quote-unquote higher quality music, and some of it is worse than the original Demon Rush music. I'm not even kidding you, okay? And he spent $1,500 on beeps and boops, and that is a lot of money to spend on that. Anyway, oh, you gotta find a VOD. For those who want to see the Demon Rush remaster, I have a full playthrough on YouTube. There is nudity. Because why wouldn't you just put nudity in the Demon Rush? Yeah. It is a wild ride, okay? Anyway, sorry, Donkey Kong. I got distracted and started talking about the Demon Rush. It's my life.
No, if the sidetracks are fully expected. This is a bit of a repetitive game.
Yeah. One thing about this game, by the way, I bet that most players, map their controls to a controller when they're playing games for Kuso6rande. This is one of those that I would definitely, even though it was made for a joystick, I would not be using a joystick. I would use a D-pad or up, down, left, right on the keyboard. Why? Because joysticks, especially if you slightly get a diagonal input from a joystick, jump is mapped to up. And because of that, you do not want to accidentally jump. It's very easy to die if you accidentally jump. So because of that, I would very much prefer to use a D-pad or a keyboard to play a game like this.
Yeah, the players mentioned in match chats as well that they were mapping keyboard controls, which is prudent on an up-to-jump game, especially one with committed jumps where if you hit up for one frame, then you do a full jump.
Yeah. So, do you have to hit diagonal jump in order to jump left or right?
Yes.
Okay, and if you accidentally just hit jump for a single frame without having it go left or right, will you just jump straight up and you're pretty much...
Yeah, you'll be committed to that.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, there are some benefits to having a commitment like that, because these jumps are always going to be the same height, and they will always take the same amount of time. You can actually use that to your advantage at times to be jump buffering, and thus time, especially if there is no randomness in the way that enemies move, you could potentially use that in some situations in order to make the levels more playable.
Yeah, but that is not true for this game. Cycles are just garbage. Things can go out of sync quite badly.
How did that hit Polk? I don't know, but it did.
Yeah, the hitboxes in this game should have an S in front of them.
Yeah. Peachy-chan is saying that she did a kick? Are you able to kick in this game?
Yeah, that is the 3-pixel attack, which I described.
The 3... I guess I missed that. How do you do the 3-pixel attack?
With the fire button.
Okay, but that punches, right? How do you kick?
It might be holding fire.
Ah! Gotcha.
Or it just might be turn into a kick when it connects.
Yeah. By the way, some of the suggestions that I give out for trying to get through levels reliably, your mileage may vary based off of the games here. The whole jump buffer might not be useful now, but it's something to think about for later areas in the game. The players can't hear me, though, so if any of them decide to experiment with that, it could prove to be helpful or just an exercise in frustration. Honestly, with this game, probably more frustration than anything else.
No. There is no buffering in this game. If you do input while you are committed to something else, then the game just eats the input.
What if you just hold upright? Do you automatically keep jumping in that direction?
You might do, but I've also seen it eat inputs so often.
Yeah, I would seriously experiment to get inputs to be more reliable, and there may be some strategies to do that. You know, it takes experimentation. One important thing to note as well is that this game does not have a timer, and because of that, you can take a little bit more time on certain screens to wait for things to line up for yourself. Peachy-chan rushing the spider screen. That spider screen, if you wait for the second spider cycle, you can get through there much more reliably.
Yeah, but cycle... the volcano and the spiders go out of sync. And the spiders can go out of sync with each other.
Yeah, one of the spiders is on a bit of a faster cycle than the one on the left, as far as I can tell. Eventually, the one on the left is a little bit faster, and the one on the right a little bit slower. And so waiting for them to get out of sync can actually make it a bit easier to get through.
There are also things that are completely random, such as when the bird drops poo. Or...
Of course. The random poo. Oh, for the toe, no, the spider on the right was faster. I don't know.
Also, the gorillas are completely random if you need to jump or duck projectiles.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We had a game yesterday that players had to adjust to projectiles quite a bit, and it was a big pain in the butt.
The double gorilla screen.
Yes! Goodbye, double gorilla. The game from yesterday that I'm thinking about is Circus Lido. It was the first game that we had, and projectiles were proving to be a huge problem for the players because they couldn't really expect when a projectile would fly out. That's something for the devs, telegraphing when things fire. Well, I would say that for a reliable playthrough, you don't have to make everything set. You can introduce randomness, but there should be things in a way that if a player is able to play and react to something perfectly, they should be able to survive. That is generally the best way to approach designing video games, that a perfect player can manage to react to everything that's happening. At least in a game that is very brutal and sends you back to the very beginning because of a few deaths.
Yeah, that is a fundamental tenet of the fairness in games. It's just that this game does not even pretend to play fair.
Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily agree with people saying that damage should always be avoidable, though. Like in RPGs, damage is not always avoidable, and in fact, almost never avoidable. For platforming, there are a lot of people who say, you should be able to play a platformer damageless, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that 100% of the time. There can be cases where damage can be used as a resource rather than necessarily anything else. With that said, it still is usually a good idea to think, how does a skilled player get through this? Can a skilled player just absolutely get destroyed by luck? And if a player can get game over based off of luck alone, then it's not generally going to be acceptable. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you can get completely trash cycles in this game, but a reset doesn't really cost you a whole lot.
Yeah, it's relatively short, and honestly, this was before, video games really had standard design and expectations, you know. What can you say? There's one person who programmed this game and did all the art, and then one person who did the music for this. And you know, there were no set design expectations. There was no requirement. There were no QA teams going through and playing, you know. It was one guy. Because you can't really hold this to the same standards of modern games. You can still use it as an example for old school design that didn't exactly go the best. But, you know, it's definitely not going to have the same expectations that you would have with Nintendo making Mario games these days.
Even by the standards of that age, this is just trash. It received garbage reviews in pretty much every magazine that looked at it.
Really? I think this game is charming.
To look at, yes, but you're not seeing the game. You're not experiencing the game eating your inputs.
I suppose the input eating is probably the biggest crime, and yeah, I can't see that. I do see a lot of deaths, and it's like, oh, you know, the player could have avoided that, and from what you're saying, you know, they maybe, like, had actively tried exactly what I would have tried, but because of the way that the game reacts to inputs, it just was not possible. Yeah, that's one of the difficult things of games, that there can be invisible problems, you know, from a casual viewer, you just do not see it. And I am definitely a casual viewer at this point with this game.
But I think the viewers can properly tell that this is... the players are struggling with this for a reason.
Yeah.
And these are high-ranking players.
From what I can see, oh my gosh, game FAQs, there aren't any written reviews here, but on average, it's got 3.39 stars out of 5, which might be a little bit higher than what I would necessarily give it. They gave it difficulty 3.13 out of 5. Difficulty is labeled just right. Length 13 hours. And that horrifies me, that this is possibly a 13-hour video game.
I think the long play is 10 minutes.
I mean, that's somebody who has learned how to play this game already, you know?
Toe is in the lead with a rolling boulder screen here. Oh yeah, and here is the end of stage 1. Round
what?
1, fight.
You have to fight a kangaroo at the end of stage 1? I mean, then again, some of the images.
Yeah, you should have expected Kung Fu.
This is amazing. Let me share this image. I don't think we've seen the in-game image here, but I believe it appears at some point. I'll go ahead and share it with everybody.
This would be the loading screen if you were playing it on actual hardware. Clades also just one boulder away from the boss fight, but that is definitely... Was it? Toe in first, to Clades second.
Okay.
I think Pichu has also reached the rolling boulder screen, but didn't get as far as Clades.
There we go. This image, it is beautiful. That's actually really pretty good art for the Commodore 64. Pretty good interpretation. But look at those kangaroos just duking it out. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. This one is just getting wrecked. Look at him. Bam! Punched in the face.
Chad is saying Poke got to the boss as well, which would make that second. if Poke got 2 hits on the boss, then he is in first, because the Toad got 1.
Oh, yeah. This kangaroo right here, absolute legend, let me tell you. The best of all kangaroos. Bam. Yeah, this is... I'm actually shocked that there's more than one level to this game. Because, like, getting through level 1 with only 3 lives, how are you supposed to do this? Like, how many levels are there?
I think there are 3 bosses. I don't. Yeah, there are. But all stages have similar tile sets. There are like some caverns, Flintstone style stone dwellings, which we haven't seen.
Oh, I feel so... No, I don't feel bad for the players. What am I talking about? We had RoboCop 4 on before this game, you know? This ain't no RoboCop 4.
No, this is the kind of thing you get in the later rounds.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, you know, once we start up the bracket, we have some themed rounds that add a little bit of spice to it. You never really know what's going to come up. But then again, you know, I tend to be the person who chooses based off of what I'm feeling for the day and not necessarily what is going to make the players suffer the right amount for a specific game. Just like here you go, have fun, bam. And then sometimes they enjoy the game, and usually they don't. Peachy-chan is talking in Discord, basically saying that these cycles are weird, and yeah, from what you described, I think Peachy-chan has a really good point. They're unreliable at best. I really dislike the low-flying birds. Like, come on, you have a whole sky up above you. Why are you flying so low?
Those are jokes. And Clay's onto the boss fight.
Yeah! Yeah!
1 hit.
Punch the kangaroo punch!
2 hits.
Come on! Can you do it? Oh, no!
Oh no, that's a 2nd place. For 2 hits on the boss. If Poke got 2 hits, that is. If Poke didn't get 2 hits, then Clay is in first.
Do. Oh. I feel like this is a game that I probably would have played a decent amount when I was young. Like, if I had stumbled across this, I definitely put a lot more time into less enjoyable games when I was a kid. But that's sort of the thing with a lot of the games, you know, if you had it and it was, like, at least playable, it didn't really matter how bad it was or how inaccurate some of the controls were. You were probably still going to play it. And
yeah, this is a precision platform difficulty with none of the precision.
Yeah, the precision it leaves a lot to be desired. I love that chat is commenting about Peachy-chan dying to the spider, that it barely grazed her and she died. But also, look how big that spider is, and this is an Australian spider, okay? You probably don't even need it to bite you. You're just dead.
Yeah, Australian wildlife is scary.
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of cute, even if it does want to maul your face off. Like, kangaroos, don't mess with the kangaroos. They will wreck you. They will destroy you. You will die. Yep. Hulk getting a game over, starting at the beginning again.
I think Clades might be back to the boss fight. And Poke had again crashed.
But that was right at the beginning. It's fine.
I really hope this players won't vote to tube in this because
Oh no, like
I think nobody has really suffered from the crashes.
I would definitely not say that this is tube and bin worthy. No. Crashes are absolutely expected in some Kuso6rande games. They can happen. But considering how fast it is to get back into the game, big deal. Now, if it were a game where they got 40 minutes in and crashes started happening at that point, then I would possibly understand a tube and bin, but no, this is not tube and bin worthy. This is like 50 million times better than tube and for Game Boy Color.
Although it might... there would be some kind of coincidence in this making the tube and bin along with Kung Fu.
No, this is better than Kung Fu. I feel like we've gotten to the point where, game just throws out some weird glitch and people are like, tube and bin time! No, come on, tube and bin is a much more exclusive club. It's just that DoeWolf is very exclusive. Ooh, Polk decided to duck instead of jump. That's how the monkey gets ya. That's how the monkey gets ya. It's the mind games. Oh, you tried punching, but the monkey threw the poop. It's birds dropping poop, monkeys throwing poop. There's lots of poop in this game.
Which is a kind of fitting for its quality.
Yeah. I should make a website with tube and bin games because we actually have games that came before Tubin that have been essentially banned from Kuso6rande. Yeah, it's true. Can't remember any of them right now, but I know that there was a DOS game that I gave out that, guess what? Everybody experienced crashes like 5 minutes into the game and couldn't continue playing, and I was like, well, okay, we can't have that anymore. I just have to go back and review the games that we've said no to. And also, just because they're in the bin right now doesn't mean they necessarily can't get out. If there are ways to make a game more reliable, like Wolfchild, just don't change the difficulty and it's going to be consistent. And sure, that works.
Yeah, and there was also the Buffy game where we figured out how to deal with the branching paths.
Yeah, Buffy was like, we gotta set you aside and get your things out for a little while. Peachy-chan is saying in Discord, love when you don't jump but step forward. Yeah, this is a huge issue with up-to-jump games, especially diagonal to jump.
And that is the eaten inputs, I tell you. While you are hopping, your inputs will get swallowed until you land.
Well, yeah, I think that... Well, the biggest thing is that if it only checks one frame for if you're trying to jump, it's very difficult to hit exactly diagonal when you want to. And usually you're going to hit either up or right slightly before hitting the other one. That's just how joysticks work, and because that lack of precision, it's very easy to have what appears to be eaten inputs, but it's actually just too precise at reacting to your inputs. Donkey Kong. We just figured it out. It doesn't eat inputs. It's just too good at knowing when you're doing either up or right.
No, it definitely eats inputs while you're doing the left and right movements, because you can't move left or right without doing a hop,
Well,
and during the hop animation, you are committed.
Yeah, it's committed hops. It's not eating the inputs. It's ignoring the inputs. It's like I'm too full. I had too many inputs. I had one input, and so I gotta wait half a second, okay, to digest this input, and then you can give me another one. And if it gets another one, as soon as it finishes digesting, then bam, digesting another input for half a second. Gotta get this through.
And then the toe is experiencing a crash as well, I think.
Actually, everybody, that might be the same as eating inputs. Whatever. It's complicated. I'm just gonna say that this game is too precise.
You wouldn't say that if you were playing it. This game is not precise at all.
Oh, but it is, because as soon as it gets the up to jump straight up, it's like, yeah, we're doing this jump. And it's true, as soon as you jump up in the air, in real life, you can't adjust left or right, you're just up in the air.
But that's not a problem that the players are having. You're not seeing the players doing an upward jump instead of a diagonal jump. That seems to be pretty consistent for the players as well.
I'm just arguing semantics, Donkey Clonk. I think I can definitely agree that the controls leave a lot to be desired, and that they do not control in a way that you would want a game to control. Like, what's interesting is that, I've been working on some jumping physics for a little game I've been dinking around with, and even for, like, basic jumping, it's difficult to get it feeling right. And considering that the Commodore 64 had so many more limitations, I can see how they sort of botched this.
No, I don't think that... Well, the Commodore 64 had pretty much this... I don't think that's a hardware limitations, because there were definitely games that had better jumps.
Yeah, but... still more limited than, like, games today, right? I think so. Oh, Tempest Roll is saying Commodore 64's hardware isn't really responsible for bad jumps. I mean, okay, fine. Whatever. I guess fine. It's a design thing. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out. The NES, you could do some reasonably good jumps, but look at Mario 1, okay? It took a while to actually get to where you could design jumps that felt good. Mario 1 does not have good feeling jumps. It's better than this
only
game.
gets two hits in on the boss and dies.
Yeah.
And plates on the bosses at the same time. I have absolutely no idea who's in first.
Oh. Well, the kangaroo isn't, because the kangaroo died. Tempest Roll, you're saying Mario 1 has way better jumps than a lot of NES games. That's because, like, it's very easy to make something jump. It's hard to make something jump and make it feel like it's working right. Because you have to put more than one freaking line of code in there. Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking of all the NES bootlegs with the triangle jumps that are so bad. But there just weren't standards at that time. You had to work and actually, like, put effort into making things feel smooth. And a lot of the times, people are like, video game? Hey, you have a video game? You jumped. That's what you wanted. You wanted a jump, you gotta jump. And it's like, that's not the jump I wanted. Well, too bad. That's the jump we're offering you. Yes.
Yeah, Super Mario Bros. Really revolutionized jumps which were controllable, which weren't committed, and where you could press longer to do a longer jump that you
Yep.
could tap to do a short jump.
Yeah, Mario 1 absolutely revolutionized a lot. I would still say that Mario 1 doesn't have great jump physics just because you're more bowling ball than Mario should be, you know? Definitely a lot more momentum than later Mario games, and it's great for what it was at the time, but they definitely did a lot of tweaking in later games in order to make it feel more natural. But yeah, as soon as you find a game that's not from one of the big studios for the NES, some of the jumps are just so absolutely terrible. It's amazing. And then, you go to Wisdom Tree, okay? You want to play a game that has really, really bad jump physics. Bible Adventures is actually one of their better ones, and it still has terrible physics. It's so bad. Yeah, anyways, I've got a lot of opinions, and a lot of them are wrong. Magos, you're asking if they added a lot of momentum to Mario after Mario 1. I think the biggest thing is that they added... it's a lot easier to... What is it? To jump from a standstill and have a little bit of momentum. Mario 3 is very slippery, says Cadus. I really like the jumping in Mario 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm opinionated.
Yeah, we're kind of nitpicking games that had decent jumps when we're watching this, which just eats your inputs.
It's because it's digesting the previous inputs.
Yeah, you have to wait 30 frames after an input or you will get stomach cramps.
Yeah. See, you heard it here first. Everybody, don't go swimming after you have played Kangaroo video games for at least 30 frames. I love it. Well, I'm really enjoying the game, you know? This game definitely... I still feel like for the time era, this game isn't quite as bad as you've made it out to be. Yes, it's not a diamond, but it's at least like quartz. I would put the quartz tier. This is quartz tier. At least slate.
I would argue coal.
Coal? Wow. That is certainly an opinion. An opinion that you're allowed to have. Yeah, visually, this looks pretty decent. I think that's one thing that we haven't talked about much during this match, is that visually this does look pretty good, but graphics do not a game make. And we have definitely had plenty of nice-looking games on Kuso6rande that ended up having huge gameplay problems. People are like, oh, this looks like a good game, and it looks like it's going okay, and then suddenly, bam, players show up and are like, this is the worst game I have ever played in my entire life. Honestly, this is probably one of those things, Donkey Kong. You know, I'm trying to be as forgiving as possible for this game. They're gonna show up and yell at you.
And Peachy-chan, now we have definitely all four players crash, so it's equal for all 4 players.
Yes! Yep, everybody. I love that oh no, the toe literally had a crash right at that moment. Oh my gosh. The game is short enough though that it's not a huge deal. No, the toe, it's farting at me. The game's farting. Oh yeah. Oh, that was a good fart. Seriously, like, have one of those. Pretty much set for the rest of the day.
Yeah, inputs are hard to digest.
I know. Like beans. You know, this is... Even though this game we have not seen very much variation, you know, due to repeating the same screens over and over and over again, at the same time, I'm really glad that every screen has something very different. And so it's really easy to tell how far along in a level the players are. Not only that, the music is enjoyable to listen to. I'd say for Commodore 64 standards in Kuso6rande, I really enjoy this game.
Yeah, I was worried
commentator.
Yeah, I was worried this game would be too much of just seeing the first 4 screen for over and over, but these are really skilled players.
Oh yeah,
Poke it onto the boss fight again.
Now, reminder to everybody, these players have 24 or 25 points, so first place will be making it into the bracket right along with second place. Third and fourth, it's a little bit more up for grabs. Fourth place will be going back and getting eliminated from the tournament. Third place will either be in the tiebreaker or in the bracket, depending on who takes third.
Poke only getting 1 hit, but I know the best for Poke is 2 hits.
Yeah, Peachy fought the boss and got destroyed. Yeah, Peachy apparently got 3 hits. So that may be a new first place.
Okay, I was watching Poke. Good thing that the chat caught it.
Wait, but 3Hams is saying 3 hits will kill him? I'm not sure. If Peachy got 3 hits and he didn't die, then maybe this kangaroo is Mike Tyson of kangaroos. Okay, right here. Chad is saying the boss definitely fell down 3 times, and Cadis is also confirming that as well. So it looks like Peachy-chan has gotten 3 hits, which is probably a lead. Boss still didn't die, though. The boss is a bit tenacious, not dying at 3 hits. We'll have to see what it takes then. Will anybody pass level 1? Yes, we have been on the first level of a few for this entire match. And as far as I know, there are no checkpoints. Like, as soon as you're out of your 3 lives, you're done. Hulk. Aw, the poor fox. Actually, the hungry fox. Actually, I'm hungry. Yeah, go get me some food, you fox. I'm ready. I'm ready to eat. Yeah, the rough thing is that the boss at the end of this stage actually seems fairly random as well. I'm not sure if there's a decent way to deal with him.
Yeah, I don't think there is, because of just how lousy your attack is. Like I said, it extends 3 pixels from you.
Yeah, it's a really short attack. And even though, you know, there aren't a whole lot of pixels in this game, you still need every pixel you can get.
Yeah, and there's a long cooldown after you attack on your next attack.
Clades just typed in Discord. I didn't question it until now, but what's up with the mini volcanoes? And yeah, are these common in Australia? Any Australians willing to confirm or deny the existence of mini volcanoes? I really need this. I need to know if I go to Australia, do I need to bring a lava-proof umbrella?
But since you get a increasing score with each hit on the kangaroo, I've seen Poke get a score above 1,000 points. We definitely need to go to replays on this.
Possibly. Well, everybody, relax. Kick your feet up because that is time. We are done with this match. What an amazing adventure that we had. I believe Peachy-chan got the most hits. I'm not 100% sure, though.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea who to invite, because everyone saw the boss.
Yeah, we are talking right now. Toe is a little bit surprised about the 3 knockdowns. Clades basically assumes that he had 2. Yeah, we will have to do a little VOD diving. The Toe only had 1 hit per what he is saying in Discord. I'm gonna go ahead and invite Peachy, even if, you know, results change after this. Peachy appears to have been in the lead. Yes! And I am inviting Peachy-chan to come and discuss how the match went. This was a lot of fun. Clade's just spinning frogs around and Hulk just being a fox and stuff. Hello, Peachy-chan, and congratulations. It looks like you took the victory today.
I'm in shock because I thought the entire time I was behind.
No, this game is hard. Okay.
Oh my god.
Absolutely brutal.
I was losing hope halfway through. I was just like, well, I had a good Kuso run. I got 5 matches, right? That's good.
It looks like you're getting into the bracket just based off of what we saw, you know? It's we'll definitely be going back and confirming, but yeah, I do think that you are moving on from everything that we saw. So you can breathe a little bit easier or a little bit harder if you know, some people like to get eliminated.
Either or. No, I'm glad I made it to brackets, actually. I'm glad. I'm ready to put this game behind.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about this game?
Oof. It's okay. Let me start with the jump.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I think that's the most I had problems with. Because if you don't hit up and right simultaneously, if your right is just slightly faster, you'll take a step instead of jumping. So if you know we're trying to make really precise jumps, and then you just jump into spikes or boulder. Are they moving boulder? What are they?
I don't like snail rocks. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you.
I don't know. And then the monkeys.
Yeah.
The hitboxes. I guess it's just pixel perfect. So like, sometimes you can line up the punch and it's fine. Sometimes they take a step forward and their arm clips into you and you die. So it's like kind of a crapshoot whether you can hit them or not.
Yeah, I do know that one of our players at least figured out a way to jump over the monkeys fairly reliably. But again, that was still also kind of a crapshoot whether or not they were going to be able to do that.
Yeah, because like their
rough.
movement was random. Because like it felt like for a while it felt like they predictably threw from a certain spot, and then sometimes they'll just run down the entire screen. And it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, Polk was talking to me about various cycles, and I do think, like, it took a little convincing on my end, because I was very adamant that, nah, you can figure this out, it's fine. But yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat that the cycles in this game are bad. Yeah,
there's some weird timing, because the volcano before the 2 spiders...
Yeah.
Sometimes it would go off as soon as the spider was going up, right? And sometimes it would not. And sometimes it would take forever to go off. And I'm just like, I can't. And then the timing would be off. And then I'd try to jump and I'd either hit the spider, or I'd be in a weird position and my nose would be bonked. It's just like...
I love it.
I am curious as to how many more screens this game has.
That was level 1.
Level 1?
As far as I know, there are 3 levels, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh.
I love it. Okay, so my take is you're probably not going to play this game again.
Probably not for a while, at least. If I do ever get back to it.
Is there anything redeemable about it?
I mean, I'm used to other games with, like, tight jumps, like, having to make tight jumps.
Okay.
And I think in that sense, if there were some tweaks to it, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. Like, if it weren't pixel-perfect hitboxes, then maybe it wouldn't be as bad, but...
Yeah.
It's hard. Or just let us continue from the same screen. Just take out lives and make that infinitely more tolerable.
I'd say that probably the reason they did that was because the game is so short. I mean, 3 levels, you know, it still seems like a lot because of how much, like, we didn't get to see in the game. It feels like a lot, but if you didn't have a life system in there, then, you know, people might be able to beat this super fast. I don't know.
Yeah. No, and it's, you know, it's standard for the time. You know, that was just how it was. Like, lives were just always a thing back then. It's just like...
Yep.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, but definitely things have improved. Okay, so better jumps. Instead of being like... That's the thing, like, modern games have spoiled us when it comes to jump physics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were really, really hard to get right back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think that's pretty much all that I have. Peachy-chan, let me know, is there anything that you'd like to plug or anything that you stream over at your channel that people should know about?
I just stream. I've been trying to keep a schedule, so I've been trying to stream every Friday night.
Okay.
I'm West Coast, so I can be pretty late for people.
Oh, okay.
I do any game that suits my fancy, and I also do art. So
yay,
if you're interested in that.
Oh, art streams are awesome. Yeah. If people want, go follow Peachy-chan. Peachy-chan just trying to stream maybe a little bit for the later crowd. If you're one of those late people, might be a good stream to check out. Thank you so much. I'm really happy. You know, best of luck. I'm excited to see how you do in the bracket.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Donkey Clonk, for choosing this game. Both of you. Oh, apparently Polk took first, you took second, and that means you are still going to the bracket.
You're I'm glad either
there.
Way.
Yeah.
Does Polk want to get it? Does Polk want to talk?
I think we have to move on to the next game. So, Polk, you get to be the silent but deadly winner.
All right, well, thank you, and bye.
Thank you, Peachy-chan. Take care. Thank you, Donkey Clonk. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you, Donkey.
Bye. Well, everybody, Kuso6rande, the Bad Video Game Tournament is made possible because of you. Everybody watching, hosting, following, subscribing, rating. I have a huge amount of thanks that I owe to you. We do give out over $2,000 worth of prizes we have for the last 2 years, and I plan to still do that this year. Everything that you do to support definitely helps to cover those costs as well as pay my bills, so it is a huge help. Up next, we have our final game for the weekend. I'm gonna run a quick ad, and we will be right back. I gotta stand up and run away for a second. Be right back in a minute. Welcome on back, everybody, to Kuso6rande, the Bad Video Game Tournament, and thank you, Mr. Ghost, for giving a mystery bit. Oh, cute. Absolutely cute. I have to give thanks for the pennies, you know, it's good. To let people know about what's happening as well for the rest of the week. Later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, Corndan, yell at me if I'm wrong, we will be on Arcade Pick, Corndan and I, playing over at twitch.tv/Smite, S-M-I-G-H-T. So if you do not follow Smite, we absolutely love him around here, and it's going to be a blast playing some games over there. Will I win? Not if there are drawings that I have to do.